Good evening, everyone. So some of y'all have already mentioned your experiences of anxiety and panic attacks. But for now, I would want all of y'all to give your few seconds and re-experience it. Just for a few seconds and not to take it over. Imagine fear of death coming towards you every second, every now and then. You're constantly under fear. You're all confused. You're feeling lost, you're feeling guilty. Why am I asking you to do this? Basically, I want you to be on the same page so that you'll be able to understand my journey with my client dealing with anxiety issues. This was just a 1-month story. This client, who's 23-year-old young girl, approached me with all panic attacks and panic disorder. So when we first met, she informed me that she lost her mother at the age of 16 and she lost her father at the age of 21. It was too much for her to take. Not only this, we further discussed and we realized that since her childhood, she had experienced a lot of domestic violence. And she was told that she was the reason for all the domestic violence that happened in her family. The major reason, her being a girl child. Imagine a baby is just born and she is already blamed for it. She actually informed me that whenever she would speak and she would be at home, she had that guilt feeling. She had that blaming, she hated herself for who she was. She was told that her father started drinking only after she was born. So she actually came to me, and when she opened up, the first thing that I did was help her calm down and vent out all her feelings. A lot of people over here have discussed how important it is to help a client calm down and vent out their feelings. So when she did that, she felt relaxed and she felt very, very peaceful after a very long time. While we were discussing, she realized that it wasn't her fault. She was born as a girl and it wasn't at all her fault. It was her father's decision. It was his choice which made her, which put all the blame on her. It was his inability to deal with his own issues. And this sort of was a turning point in her life. She started loving herself. She started becoming a completely different individual. She started being able to calm down. She could fight the most difficult triggers that came in front of her. And then she started managing a lot of issues by herself. And then we worked on how she can challenge her fears. Sir spoke about how to use CBT, so that's something which I use in my therapy as well. So now, why do I speak about her over here? I looked at my life and I reflected about my own journey in my life. There was a lot this girl had gone through. I have not gone through much. I'm grateful to God that I have gone through a much more better life. And this was all because of my father. He came from a village which had this typical mentality that women is supposed to be inside the house. They do not have the right to education. They do not have right to make decisions in the family. But he chose a completely different plan for us. He moved out of that village. He settled down in Goa years ago before even he was married. He understood that life is just not this. He wanted to give us a better life. And that's how today I'm standing here in front of you and talking in Pecha Kucha. He made sure that all his daughters get education and they do well in their life. He gave more love to his daughters than his sons. And I'm quite grateful to him for actually making this choice. The whole discussion ends up to just making a choice. Both are fathers, but what did they choose for their own self and their family? So while she was starting to reflect on various issues that she has been doing, at the same time, she was learning to be independent. The challenges which I faced was she did not have any social support, and I didn't want her to become dependent on me. So we worked on various ways she got so her social support. She started rebuilding herself. She started bringing all those activities that she loved before, and she started doing it back again. So her journey was absolutely fine, and she's been doing quite well today. Now this success story, I find, is just not my success story or her success story. I feel that this success story is of every girl child who's sitting over here or across the world who has fought those struggles and stood by themselves. This success story is of every father who stood for her own daughter. So that's the reason I find mental health profession is a very, very important field. We help people find a better world to live in. I would like to also appreciate all the mental health professionals sitting over here for making things better for a lot of people. So this girl, I'll come back to her. So she was very strong. She fought all her fights by herself. And before I end my slide, there's just one thing that I would want to say. Forget and forgive what's behind, and look for hope that awaits you in future. Thank you so much for listening.